Rampage, directed by Peyton and starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I believe this is their third collaboration together, The Rock and director Peyton. They both worked together on, I believe, Journey 2, and it was San Andreas, the most recent as well. San Andreas I thought was okay. I'm not going to lie, I was actually really looking forward to checking this film out because it looked fun. It's based off a game. I believe the game it was during the 80s, I think, Rampage. I heard of Rampage. I'd heard of the game, but I'd never played it. But it's just monsters smashing up the city, really. You just smash things up. I believe that's what the game entails. And so the film adaptation is just pretty much that. There is nothing much more really to the plot. And really, I didn't go into this movie really expecting Shakespeare or a masterpiece or anything like that. I just wanted to be entertained for almost, I think it's almost 2 hours, the runtime. I just wanted to be entertained, have some fun, get a lot, escape from the real world for a bit and just be entertained and hope the film was at least, watchable. I'm just checking now because it's bugging me that I know the game. I'm sure it was like the 80s it first came out, and it was right. I believe I'm looking by here now. 1986. It was an arcade game by Midway Games, and there you've got sort of the gorilla, the wolf, and the flying wolf, and a lizardy sort of crocodile-y thing as well. So that's what it basically is. It's about mutated animals that have been exposed to this toxin, and they just sort of mutate into these. It's like a cross between other animals, and they just get a lot. They just grow a hell of a lot bigger, and they just wreak havoc upon the city. And so yeah, I just wanted to be entertained for almost 2 hours. So let's first talk about Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Now, if you've seen previous videos of mine, like reviews for San Andreas, you'll know I've got a lot of respect for this man, for this actor. You could tell whenever you see him in a film and he's performing in any film, you can tell he's always giving it his 100% best. He is so passionate about his craft, acting, and you can just see it on the screen. And you could tell, even with the material that he's got, the material may not be that great. Now, the script in this film, I may as well touch on the script at the moment. The script is terrible. Like, who wrote the script for this film? It was cringy, it was cheesy, it was almost it was just a really bad script. So, considering the material that these actors had to work with, like Dwayne Johnson, I mean, big thumbs up. I mean, I thought he did a really good job with his performance considering the really bad material that he had to work with regarding the script. And because that script sounded like it'd been written by a 4-year-old. It was... words cannot describe how bad the script was in this film, actually. But yeah, like I said, I wasn't going in expecting Shakespeare. But it was just like, I didn't expect the script to be that bad. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, his performance, I thought he delivered a good performance, and you can see that he's really giving it all his best. No Daniel Day-Lewis, but he is giving it all his best, and I'll give him credit for that. The character that he portrayed on the screen, I thought he did a good job with it. I think he did a good job with the character. I liked his performance, and I liked it. Same goes for Naomie Harris. The chemistry wasn't quite there between the two leads, Naomie Harris's character and Dwayne's character. The chemistry wasn't quite there, but I did like her performance. It looked like at least she cared about the role and the material that she had, even though the material was just really bad. Okay, the villains. The villains in this film are just so damn annoying. Like, really, really annoying. And they sort of played for comic relief to an extent. I thought that especially the one villain sort of had a bit more of a comedic aspect to him, which I just found incredibly annoying, and he was just his performance was incredibly annoying, and it was just, I didn't see much of a point in the villains being in this movie. You could have easily have taken them out and as a result, it would have probably been a better film. You really didn't need them in there. All you needed to know was some sort of secret organization that maybe had created this toxin or something, or they could have gone down a completely different route maybe in regards to how these creatures are, able to sort of mutate and grow bigger. Perhaps they could have gone into a sort of different direction. I just don't think they really needed to have these these villains in this story. I just don't think it really... And while we're on performances here, I'm gonna have to mention Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I like this actor a lot, and I can see what they were kind of going for with his character. But my god, again, he was also very, very annoying. Like, there was just a lot of annoying characters in here. Come to think of it, again, I didn't really see much of a point in his character, really. I just found it incredibly annoying. He really hammed it up, you could say. Due to some really annoying characters and annoying humour and sort of unnecessary characters as well, it was a bit of a struggle to maintain interest. Because, you will find yourself sort of waiting for that moment and that final 20 minutes where it's just absolute chaos. And it does deliver. That last 20 minutes, I thought, delivered. But it's a bit of a slog to get there, I thought. And mainly because the characters were just not... I couldn't really invest into the characters that much. They were very sort of uninteresting. They weren't that interesting at all. I think they could have... If they'd taken the villains out and focused a lot more on The Rock's character... he plays a primatologist, and he used to be a member of an anti-poaching unit. And I think they could have really played on that more. They do briefly touch on it. And there's a flashback scene of him sort of saving George, the albino gorilla that he befriends. There is a flashback scene that sort of goes into that. And it was a tad emotional, I thought. And it showed that really this film did actually have quite a big heart underneath it all. And then, it was a bit snowed under, to be honest with this heart. But this film, deep down, does have a heart. And it was in that moment that I sort of thought, why didn't they just play on that a bit more? It's because I really wanted to sort of know more about The Rock's character. And I think they just should have shifted a lot more focus onto The Rock's. Yeah, he had this interesting backstory, you could say, regarding him and George, the albino gorilla. And I thought they could have just played on that a bit more and focused more on that. Just take those pointless villains out. And Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and to take him out. And just focus more on that. And I think we would have had a better film as a result. But in regards to tone, the film also... the tone was all over the place as well. Tonally, like, you had the comedic side of it and sort of the lighter, fluffier side of it, and then you had some more intense moments in the movie, and I would say horror moments as well, and it just sort of didn't quite meld together, didn't quite work. It wasn't really that consistent. So yeah, tonally, it was the movie was also a bit of a mess. To give you an example regarding tone of the film, so you'll have a moment with the two villains, these owners of this company, Energenics or something like that it's called. And so their characters, mainly, more so the one character, the male character, he's playing his character for comic relief. He has this sort of comedic aspect to the character, which I found very annoying, very cringy. His performance was also very annoying. But then you would have a moment then, probably not long after or straight after, an action scene, for example, so regarding mercenaries, and they're trying to track down this giant wolf, and all of a sudden it turns into almost like a horror film, and I kind of liked it. It was fun. It was entertaining. When they're trying to hunt this sort of flying wolf through the woods, but the tone was so drastically different from those moments with, say, the villains, for example, who are, which are played for comic relief. It was just, as a result, the tone of the film was just all over the place, and it's almost as if they weren't quite sure sort of what they were really doing, where they wanted the film to go, and the direction in which they wanted to go. As a result, it was just a little bit, tonally, it was just a bit of a mess. So let's talk about let's talk about that final 20 minutes. It was entertaining. It was fun. It was pure chaos. It was destruction, as you would come to expect. I mean, this is a film. It's called Rampage, and that's what you get. You get these three large animals just wreaking havoc on the city, and it was entertaining. I was entertained. It was an adrenaline rush for what was a very sort of slow build up, I thought, and to that third act. It was like being injected with adrenaline, and it was just really entertaining to see The Rock there with this big machine gun firing away, screaming his head off at this creature. You can see that he's giving it all in his performance. You can see that he's enjoying it, and it all helps add to this very fun and entertaining and intense moment in the movie. I do think the film lacked emotional impact when it needed it, or when it was required. I do think that was a result of a lack of focus on The Rock's character and George the Albino. Like I said, I really think this film should have had more of a focus on The Rock and George's character, more for the first two acts, and then I think that last act, as intense as it was because of the just pure chaos and destruction that you see on the screen, it lacked the emotional clout and build-up that it needed, and that was as a result of the lack of focus on those two characters, The Rock and George the Albino Gorilla. So yeah, Rampage. Don't go in expecting, a masterpiece. Don't go in expecting Shakespeare. I think people will enjoy it. It is, especially that, like I keep going back to the last 20 minutes, it is worth it for the last 20 minutes, I think. And for the performances from the two leads, like I said, Naomie Harris gives got an okay performance. The Rock is giving it all his best. I mean, he's no Daniel Day-Lewis. And when it comes to the special effects, I thought they were quite good. I liked the special effects in this film. I don't know why, but I went in expecting nothing much really in regards to special effects. But I was quite impressed. They were done by Weta Digital, and they did work on Planet of the Apes, so they've had experience with doing gorillas and all of that. So yeah, I thought I really liked the effects in this film. So yeah, they are my thoughts on Rampage, and I will be giving it a C. What did you guys think of Rampage? Let me know below. Did you love it? Let me know, and let's get a discussion going. Is there anything you agreed or disagreed with what I say? Let me know, and we get a discussion going. Overall, I was entertained. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought of Rampage below in the comments. And again, thank you so much for watching. And remember, if you want to see future reviews from me and everything else geeky, and you like what you see, then why not hit like and hit subscribe.